Welcome to episode 1 of season 1 of Cowboy Scallywag, and it's starting out like this. I went to caulk this salon hatch and realized shortly thereafterwards that all the wood underneath the hatch was absolutely rotten. And after further investigation, I found out that the balsa core in between the deck laminates was also saturated. This is a nightmare for boat owners, but thank goodness it only went about 3 inches up inside the laminate. So I was able to core it out, mixed up some epoxy resin, filled in between the laminates with a little bit of backer board, and poured it solid, which I think is going to make it stronger than when it came from the manufacturer. So we'll let this set up and move on to the next project, where we'll take a little trip to Austin to clean up the hatch and do a little bit of prep work on other things. So back in Austin, repair to the hatch continued, and you can see it cleaned up fairly nicely actually. Wasn't too bad, had some problems with the hardware, but we got through it, got everything fixed, and the hatch is good to go. Even managed to get a little bit of fun in. Met this guy for pizza, which was a bonus. Longtime friend in Austin. Anyway, back at the boat in Houston, I continued work by cutting new trim pieces, and I'm a lot more comfortable with metalworking tools than I am wood tools, I guess from years of fabrication in the shop. But got the hatch all cleaned up, got the pieces cut and contoured, as you can see here, there's a little bit of angle to it, and got them all epoxied in. So the only thing I have left to do now is cover them with resin, let it cure, and then I can go ahead and set the hatch. But I'm going to go ahead and take all my power tools inside because you can see what's going on. The next task to tackle is going to be this old wheel hum cover, which is torn, tattered, seen better days, and it gets kind of slick when it's wet. So I've got me some paracord and a couple tools, and we're about to go to town on this thing. I'm going to begin by removing the old wheel hum cover, which only took about 15 minutes. Honestly, it was the easiest part of the entire job. We're going to start wrapping it with the paracord, and you can see here I'm using a slip knot, which is going to help bring closure once I wrap the wheel all the way around to the other side. Now, this ended up being a real tedious task, and I got about halfway through it, ran out of paracord, had to take a trip to Wally World, which I wasn't very happy about at all. But we got all the supplies back on the boat. I got it fully wrapped, all tightened down, and it should be a good dry grip in wet weather. So on to the next project. In between posting all the videos of all the work going on here on the boat, didn't want you to think it was all work and no enjoyment at all. It's Friday night here at the marina, not a lot going on. Although resources are somewhat limited on a sailboat, they're really not that much different than being in an RV. We still get to eat steak and onions on a Friday night. Probably won't get this too often in the Caribbean, so we're going to enjoy it right now while we can. Anyway, on to the next project tomorrow, and bon appetit. So the next day I decided to go ahead and tackle this solar arch project. We've got 300 watts total of solar power going on here. Need to get it installed so I can get off the grid. Unpacking everything on the deck was kind of tricky. Didn't have a lot of room to maneuver. And as you can see, one false move and I could lose a tool, or a $200 solar panel might go into the ocean, which I'm not too thrilled about. Anyway, we've got aluminum rails front and back. They're going to be secured to the rails with aluminum rivets. And then the rails themselves get lashed down to the solar arch. I don't like hard connections on this particular part of the boat because the vibration is inherent when you're running the motor, and I didn't want any mounts cracking loose on me over a period of time. Anyway, got everything installed, looks great, and all we need to do now is the tedious task of wiring it all in. Just purchased a new transom motor mount for my outboard from Amazon, and you can see this fitting right here on the rear rail. There's no knockout for it on this plate, so not going to work. That's 50 bucks to Amazon, thank you very much. So I decided to fabricate my own, and had some leftover marine grade plywood that I'm working with. And you can see I'm cutting out for that notch to accommodate that fitting that I just pointed out. So I'm going to put some 3/4 inch plywood on each side of it to take up the width of the rail. Glue that together, epoxy it, paint it all white so it doesn't look so redneck. And then I fabricated a diamond plate cover to secure it down to the rail. So now everything's nice and tight. The outboard can be locked down so I don't have to worry about some idiot taking off across the lake in the middle of the night with my outboard. Well, that's it for right now. I got some more coming for you in the future. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up, spread the word, share the love, and we'll see you next time.